Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and I thought I would sit down and do another natty or not for you guys. Let me get a sip of my water first. My beautiful radio voice going to get my shirt adjusted here. Got to look good. All right, we are going to cover Mike O'Hearn. I said already, I'm done being nice. I'm going to go back to the Jason who spits fire. You know what? It served me well for many, many, many years. We're going to return to it. Let me make sure we got this volume up. Also, adjusting the volume. Everybody can hear me correctly as we jump into this. All right. You know, I'm going to do Mike O'Hearn. I got a bunch of questions. I got like 11 or 12 names people wanted me to do. They're like, why don't you do Mike O'Hearn? I'm like, you know what? I did GVS yesterday. I'll do Mike O'Hearn today. You know why? Because I'm going to quote a line my father said in business once. He used to be in upper management at a company I worked for at one time. And that quote was, if you're going to suck dicks, you might as well suck big ones. So let's jump into the daddy of fake natties, Mike O'Hearn. Now, I want to state up front when we have this conversation, I actually like Mike O'Hearn's work. I think Mike has phenomenal work ethic. I think his information, his training knowledge is gold. Okay. Also want to state that as far as guys out there at his age, he has no competition in terms of his physique quality. Nobody's on his level. Nobody is on Mike's level there. Now, that being said, is he natural? There's not a snowball's chance in hell. Okay, and we need to be very, very clear on that. I mean, the simple fact of the matter is he has continued to just get better and better and better decade after decade. Now, people say, well, isn't that how natural works? No. Natural works to where you make really good gains for a few years and then stuff goes to a screeching halt to where you will fight for every single last pound of muscle, right? Take like my client, Justin, for example, phenomenal gains, great genetics. He's been training like 15 years, okay? We're lucky to get half a pound of muscle a year out of him, lucky. And you guys see his pictures, his lifts, the guy squats like 520 with abs, okay? Guy looks great, but that's a natural. That's what happens when you train really hard for 15 years as a natural. You squat 500 pounds, you have great abs, you look good. Like the dude looks great, but that's good genetics. So, you know, we talk about Mike and then everyone's like, but Mike is the perfect example of what happens when you are smart and careful with your gear use and you don't go hard. Mike is the example of what happens if you're reasonably conservative, smart with your stacks, and you don't go overboard and you just say, I'm just going to keep chipping away for decades. Okay? For decades. And yet he's here healthy and looks good and hasn't fallen apart. He doesn't have all those problems all the other guys do. And it's because Mike, I don't think Mike ever used insulin. I don't think he ever used IGF-1. I think, as people said, let's get over to the points. Right? Let's get over to the point. People are like, what is he using? He's still got hair. Now, there's probably some hair transplants and stuff. Let's be fair. But, you know, it's like his skin looks good. He doesn't have the bubble gut. Like, how has he just pulled this off? How is he still healthy? Here's why. I am almost convinced. So people are like, what is he using? I legitimately think, my best guess, I don't think Mike O'Hearn uses trim. He's too healthy. He's done too well. I'm going to go out on a limb and say he very possibly even gets a lot of it prescribed because of where he lives, the connections. I think Mike is like a test DECA growth hormone guy. And I think he has just used conservative amounts of those for decades. When I look at his look, he's always lean, always jacked. So again, he's got kind of a little bit of that full Nandrolone look, right? He doesn't look trendy, but he stays so damn lean. And probably, again, the growth hormone with that. All right, his joints and everything, his tendons, nothing gets hurt. That would, again, suggest to me what sort of anabolics tend to build tendons. DECA, EQ, Primo, Anabol. All right, those are the ones that are good for tendons. Some of the others, Tren, Winstrol, that stuff destroys tendons. Okay. Good tendon health, no injuries, super strong. Growth hormone helps with that too. Also helps keep you tighter and leaner. Also creates a better synergy with the anabolic so that you can use less over time. I think if I'm going to go out and go by what I think he does, I think he is like a test DECA growth hormone guy. And I don't think he uses a lot. I think it's just been conservative amounts for like 30 years straight. And it's allowed him to not have these other problems. It's allowed him to not have all the necessarily the negatives on the lipid profile, the heart health, to not beat up his tendons and joints, not even particularly destroy his hairline. It's let him do it really interestingly. And I think that's the secret. Now, that obviously combined with the guy's training is dialed in. Okay? I want to be clear on that. Look at Mike's training. Mike's training is dialed in all the way. He is smart with his training, and he trains fucking hard. But he balances the two extremely well. Again, he's a master of his game. He's a master of his craft. And that's the point when this comes over. Okay? That's what comes over. I bet you he stays under a gram a year. I bet you he stays under a gram. I really would bet something like 200 tests, 400 or 500 DECA is a blast for him and just runs it all the time. If I had to guess. And I could be dead wrong, but he probably uses a moderate amount of growth hormone year round. So let's get over and get to some of these questions. Let's get over some of these questions. He's pulled a lot of BS, like acting like an idiot. But yeah, that's the thing. He's extremely smart. He's one. Matt says the OG fake Natty killer. That is me, guys. That is absolutely me. I'm the original, and I'm not taking it back. These other people took my shtick. This whole spotting a fake Natty thing, I started like 12, 13 years ago. This was my thing on YouTube. Other people cashed in when I jumped out. And I'm done being nice. You know what? I'm going to not be nice to people anymore. I'm going to just be the same aggressive dick I used to be because I had way better outreach. I didn't even get messed with as much. To be honest with you guys, I've been trolled harder and stalked harder since I turned into a fucking nice guy. Because people think you're a pussy when you try to be nice and try to be a good person. So I'm done with all that. I'm done with it. Fuck it. We're going to go back to spitting fire. All right, let's get over to these questions. If Joffrey Schoenfeld is Natty, so is Michael Hearn. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, according to the Noble Natties, the Natty limit doesn't exist, so everyone should look like Mike at 50, right? You still have the famous plus I've had of speechcraft somewhere. Mike looks like an AR robot lately. His face doesn't even move when he talks a lot of books. Yeah, probably haven't looked at that lately. He made more money than McCarver with a quarter of the gear, made a lot of money, but not as rich as. What do you mean? Why do you think Rich Piana was rich, Chris? Oh man, you did not talk to any of his exes like I did. Rich was not balling like you guys think he was. That stuff was all rented. He had an expensive lifestyle. Rich was not pulling in millions and millions. He was doing okay. I mean, doing better than me. But, you know, he wasn't making the money you guys think he was. And that's from, I've talked to some of his ex-wives. One of them, unfortunately, passed this last year. Because they reached out to me. Two of his ex-wives I've talked to personally in the past, a long time ago. Again, people rich put on a pretty big front. And it just is what it is. He had a lifestyle he had to showcase, and it cost him everything he had to do it. And that's just the way it was. He didn't even own 5%. He was owned something like 3% of the company. He got screwed. Like Rich got screwed over with a lot of stuff with that. All right. Chris said Piana never sold dirt. Yes, he did. Chris sold gear. Do not get weary in doing good. You were one of my favorite channels. God bless you. Thomas, I'm doing good. I'm doing good. I'm just not going to play the whole nice thing anymore. I'm just not done with it. All right. I miss seeing your guitar playing clips. Well, right now I'm not going to get up and do the guitar playing clips. I obviously still play guitars. They're sitting right there. Ola, why would they reach out to me? Because I had been doing all those different videos at the time. Keep in mind, Ola, don't think about 2023 or 24, Jason. Go back. No, I'm a nice guy, but I put on a certain thing here. Like I tried to be nice. I tried to be cool to people on here, and I tried to make peace with everyone. I tried to do those things, and it didn't work out. All it did is make people hate me more. Like I got more problems from getting up and being nice than just spitting fire. I'm a nice guy, but I'm also an asshole. That is how my friends will describe me. All right. Mike Jessen says, Stu McGill says it's dangerous to do squats and deadlifts first thing in the morning. Why? I do it all the time. I do it all the time. A lot of people think Stuart McGill's full of shit too on a lot of things. So you have that. I've never had any back issues from doing it. And I don't know really other people who have. But again, I'm only doing squats with 500 pounds, and I'm only doing rep work with 550 on the deadlift. So maybe he means people who are really, really strong. Image, well, meaning my YouTube didn't grow, and then people started treating me like I'm weak. Imagine. People on here started literally acting like they think that they would come up and talk smack to me or start a beef with me. Remember when the old Jason, other YouTubers said, no, dude, you guys don't want to mess with Jason like that. Remember people used to actually say that in videos? They're like, whatever, you can not like the guy, but he'll fucking kill you. All of a sudden I start being nice, and people are like, Jason wouldn't really shoot me. Yeah, you got to act like you're going to hit me, and that's not going to work out too well. Fuck around and find out. Oh, hell no. Again, King Bruce says, these people don't know the attitude of her, Jason. I'm too old to get hit in the face. Right? Hold on. Hold on. I got a client trying to call. Oh, shit. Let me check what's going on there. All right, hold on, guys. Let me go ahead and end this out. Let me get over to this call.